Hello, my name is Ace and this is Ace's Scribbles. What I do here is simple. I open a blank page, as you can see, and I build a fantasy world from nothing. No plan, no outline. You watch the whole messy process in real time. Today is the very first episode, which means right now there is nothing, new world, new idea, and a completely empty page. So let's just go. A world that I was thinking about, or just an idea, just a prompt that I had prepared earlier, was something like, what if everyone could teleport? So we are trying to imagine a world where everyone can teleport, every human being. I have to kind of think if I want that power to be given to animals as well. But for now, let's just think about it with human beings in mind. So yes, this is a world where basically everyone can teleport. That's where we begin. Everyone can teleport. So this idea came to me when I was kind of like missing my friends, and I was thinking that what if we all had some kind of a portal in our rooms, like everyone gets the portal, and thus through those portals we could all be connected, and there would be no, like, if we wanted to reach someone, we could just use those portals and barge right in. So that's a fun idea that I had when I was, as I said, I was missing my friends. I think that kind of a world would be very interesting to think about. So first, we would not need any kind of transportation. So there would be no cars, no vehicles, basically. That's one thing. Since everyone can just go wherever they want, and there is no time lags or delays. Like if I want to go somewhere, I can just go there, I can just teleport there. People will be more punctual. This has to be a question mark. Would there be any borders? That is an interesting thought. So what happens to countries? No borders, no countries. Anyone can go to any place that they can imagine. So like if I want to go to the exact opposite part of the world right now, I would be able to do that. If everyone can go everywhere, and now how do we ensure borders? So now, okay, that kind of makes me think that when we are imagining a country, I think of human beings, basically. Sorry, not country. When we are trying to imagine a world full of human beings, we have to look at our own world as a reference, or that's how I do it. To replicate our world and still have this constraint that everyone can teleport, we can do a few things that I can think of right now. One of them is that we raise some kind of teleportation barriers. For privacy, let's say at houses there are small, or just like the entire house. So the entire house is protected using barriers. So that's a minimal level, that, well, house or my room, basically I can protect it by just raising some kind of barriers. So some kind of magical power, some kind of spiritual power, some kind of energy thing. If we can teleport, we have to think, like, if everyone can teleport, everyone has that ability, then we must imagine something that prevents the teleportation. So we also have to give human beings the power to raise barriers. So everyone can raise barriers. Everyone needs privacy, basically. So it's teleport and anti-teleport kind of thing. Like, how do people teleport? That's another thing. So I will go with the thing that I was thinking about, that everyone can create some kind of portals. So yeah, like portals are basically the medium of teleportation. The way people teleport is by creating portals. So what I would imagine, basically, that if I want to go somewhere, I can just create a portal here, and that portal connects where I am and where that location is, and I just move through the portal. Now, when I create a portal, is it like one-time use, or can it be used multiple times? Can I just take it down? Maybe I can. There can be a lot of different there can be different kinds of portals, basically. Let's say one-time use portals, that I said, one-time use. Then you have multiple use, and there can also be portals that have some kind of timer. So timer, you create a portal and you say, well, this can be used for 1 hour or so. So there's a timer kind of thing. So now, do these portals have limitations? Like, can I say that, well, this portal takes me like a kilometer away, or like it cannot take you beyond 5 kilometers or something? Like, are there such restrictions? I would say that yes, there should be limitations. Like, these are the ones that we can create: one-time use, multiple use, timer. Now, limitations, what is it? What are the limitations based on? Maybe the strength. So portal limitations, basically. Portal limitations. Strength of an individual. An individual is strength of the caster, basically. That's something that kind of regulates how strong the portal is. I think the two factors that we have to kind of always look for are, one is of course distance, and another is duration. Distance, duration, usage, how many people are using it. So these three factors, if I want to bring them in. Now, if a person is weak, he may sacrifice, or he may just say that, well, I don't need the duration, I don't need the usage, just one-time use or one person use is good enough, and duration is like, I don't need the duration as well. It created 1 second, you just jump right in, and you can increase the distance by doing so. Also, if you don't need that distance, then you can maybe increase the usage or increase the duration. So it's like a balance, finding the balance of where you want to go and how many people need to go there through that one platform. Well, also, like, if I have low energy, if I cannot go the distance that I need to, someone stronger than me can raise that portal for me. That kind of thing becomes a thing. Now we were talking about privacy and we came here. For the privacy, I think this document needs to be a bit more organized, but for the privacy, let's think about countries and borders. Let's say I'm a person of that prehistoric age, and what I want to do is I want some privacy for my people. I have a small group of people, maybe 4 to 5 person. It's a group of people that have been living together for quite a while, and they think that, well, we need a place, we need our own place. So they go somewhere, they move somewhere, and they raise a protective barrier around where they live, around their houses. And how do they do that? Like, maybe one person cannot create a barrier that big. Multiple people should be able to contribute in creating one single barrier. That might be a thing. Yeah, let's just say that is a thing. Multiple people can contribute to raising one barrier slash not just barriers, of course, also portals. So what do barriers do? You'll have to see what the barriers do. Now, barriers do not let people teleport inside them. So how do they do that? You cannot create a portal from outside of a barrier to inside of that said barrier. So let's just imagine that you're staying outside of a barrier and you want to go in. You cannot just portal yourself in. That would, like, the barrier would lose its purpose then. So yeah, like, so how do barriers let people in? Maybe the caster of barriers can choose to create the caster of caster of a barrier can choose to create a barrier that lets certain people in and out of the barrier. So that creates some kind of a belonging. Let's say it's not a maybe, it's a thing. Like, it's a basic thing that barrier can do. Now, same thing, I think, like the barriers and portals. Let's just write it down. Barriers and portals share similar characteristics. A portal can be created so that certain people, or so that only certain people can pass through them, or only certain people can't. So let's see what we have now. Like, we have everyone can teleport, everyone can raise barriers, there are no vehicles, people would be, well, that's just a question. Let's just let's just say that let's just cut it out. Would there be any borders? So what happens to countries? Onwards to this question. So what happens to countries and borders? There's protective barriers. Protective barrier can be cast or can be created, conjured. There are a lot of words basically. The barrier has to be strong, right? Like, if we need a country level, a countrywide barrier, then it has to be huge, it has to be strong. One single person should not be able to raise a barrier this big. Okay, let's say a countrywide barrier is created or / conjured by amassing the energy of multiple, it's not multiple, like a lot of people or many people or whatever, like, or if there are many strong a few strong peoples, that would suffice, I think. So a countrywide barrier is created or conjured by amassing the energy of a lot of people. That's how you raise the barrier. No, okay, now another thing that I have to say, we kind of missed. Now, if portals have limitations, like where the portal limitations strength of the caster, then like I would imagine that portals / barriers are not are, like portals or barriers decay. So over time, a portal or a barrier will lose its strength before disappearing entirely. So the barriers need to be maintained. Like if we are talking about a countrywide barrier, it needs to be always maintained so that external forces, outsiders cannot enter, cannot infiltrate, cannot attack. Let's organize this folder. What we have finalized, let's just say finalized world. So inside of this finalized world, we can do, let's say, portals, and we can say barriers, or maybe just say portals and barriers, because they're basically the same things. So portals and barriers. Now we have the portals and barriers have some rules. So the most initial one, portals decay. It's a nature of portals and barriers that they decay, and there are limits. Distance. Let's just there are limits, distance, time, and also usage. How many people they can, a portal can teleport / how many attempts a barrier can block. It has a many-to-many relationship with human beings. Well, many-to-many relationship, I have to explain it a bit, because not everyone is going to be a computer science student. Not many of you will be familiar with databases. So many-to-many relationship is something that says that one human can create many portals slash barriers, and one portal or barrier can be made or created by multiple human. So that's a many-to-many relationship. And also, like, we have a question that we need to just keep out there. Can any animal teleport? Right, let's skip another thing with decay. That is, if you want to maintain one portal slash barrier and keep it up for, say, for days, then there needs to be people who constantly strengthen the portal slash barrier. And maybe because people have limited energy, you cannot just, like, if you keep burning that energy, you're going to be exhausted. So to not exhaust yourself, you would take turns doing the maintenance or strengthening. Now, how does it affect the society? That's what we did, like countries, basically. Countries are how portals and barriers affect society. So the answer would be that constant barriers around villages, towns, cities, countries to separate to create the borders. At a personal level, every house needs to have constant barrier protecting it as well from outside threats like burglary. Is burglary not a word? Okay, sorry. Burglary, robbery, theft, etc. We still do not have any vehicles, by the way, so no vehicles. Now, what are the problems we get from having no vehicles? If a person is too weak to create a portal and lives alone, or is somewhere secluded, then having no transportation is a bit troublesome. So do we need vehicles, or do we need some kind of, like, horse, or like you could ride horses because, well, that is cool. Riding horses is very, very cool. So horse riding should be a thing. So now it raises a question: can we teleport other animals? Well, it should be a thing because inanimate objects should be able to pass through the portals. For example, let's just give you an example. Clothes. You don't want to teleport anywhere without clothes. You don't want to be naked. So inanimate objects do pass through portals, and animate objects as well. Like someone's buying a horse from me, would they have to take the horse and ride it all the way home? It will not be convenient, because this world is based on the convenience of teleportation. So everything can pass through the teleportation portals, except for the ones that are specifically denied. By the caster, conjurer. I think we have built quite a nice world for now. Everything, animate and inanimate, can pass through / denied by the portals / barriers. And also the caster of a barrier / portal can restrict access to specific people or give access to specific people. No vehicles? Okay, no vehicles is not a thing. We can say horse riding, then chariots or horse driven carriages. So not just horse / ox. Then you can say elephants. So yes, this is transportation. So now there is a question: why would there still be transportation? If people can teleport, why would there still be the need for transportation? Maybe only for emergencies. I don't know, like I am really kind of confused between having transportation to not having transportation, because everyone can and should be able to teleport in this world. So I don't think people would see the necessity of transportation. So I say no, like, there's no transportation. there's a question that arises here, and that is, can I, or can people basically, can people teleport to places they haven't been to? And the answer should be no. So how do they create the portals? Creating portals. No one can teleport, not teleport, I'm sorry, no one can create portals to locations that they have not been to. People can imagine the details of a location and choose where the portal would take them, and that is how they create a portal. Now, creating barriers in the same way. People can imagine a border around the place that themselves basically, and create a barrier that would restrict others from entering. For multiple casting, let's say there is a lead caster who directs the entire thing, and others just help the caster to cast the portal slash barrier with energy. Others just help the caster with energy to cast the portal slash barrier. I think another one we need is maintaining. So how is it maintained? People channel their energy to existing barriers slash portals to increase their increase the longevity slash strength of the portals, or strength of the barriers slash portals. I'm pretty happy with what I have done so far. Yep, so that will be all for today's session, and I will be back again developing this world even further. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you liked about the content, what you did not like about it. Constructive criticism is always welcome. Besides that, if you want to contribute to building this world, if you have any ideas, any kind of additions you would like to make to the world, or any kind of changes, do let me know in the comments. I will make sure to read it, and if possible it will be included in the world building as we continue from where we left off today in the next episode.